Welcome everybody. Hi, another week. Good to have you all here and welcome to White City Place Connect, providing occupiers of White City Place a live platform to learn and engage while supporting wellbeing from the comfort and safety of your own homes. Lovely. My name's Dora, for those of you who don't know me. You're very welcome. We're going to possibly need a blanket or a towel for your knees, especially if you're not practicing on carpet, if you're practicing on a harder surface or your mat is a little bit thin. I'm using my meditation blanket, but if you don't have anything, that I'm sure that'll also be fine. And we'll come and lie down on our backs to begin with. So bending the knees, placing the feet hip distance apart. Just coming to settle yourself down, settling the body, settling the breath, and settling the mind. Being willing to become fully present. So whatever has been going on for you this morning, can you just park all events, all thoughts and feelings around these events, maybe outside the door of the room that you're in. Your body has made its way here. Allow the mind to be here also. And as you snuggle and adjust the bones into the surface of the earth, have a sense of how you're feeling, physically, emotionally, mentally. Knowing our starting point can help us to make adjustments, modify our practice. Notice your breath. Allow it to be just as it is. Notice its texture, its temperature, its smoothness or its irregularities. Notice if the inhale comes easier or the exhale feels more comfortable for you just right now. And this will shift and change as we move the body, as we create space. And as we practice today, just keep a gentle awareness of the underscore of your breath. And when you lose that, notice that you have left. And return your mind to the breath just a little quicker each time. So bring your awareness now to your feet. And pressing down to the four corners of your feet. And notice when I give the instruction to lift the hips, which I'm not going to now, if you instinctively know you need to adjust the feet before doing that. And press into the feet on the inhale. Lift your hips up a little bit off the floor, just vertically. Exhale, soften the tops of your thighs and let your buttocks release and spread. Press into the feet, lift your hips a little higher. Exhale, release the tops of your thighs. Your buttocks will dissolve. And maybe broaden. Press into the feet, lift a little bit higher. Still, maybe halfway, so your hip bones are in line with your knees and your shoulders. We're going to pause here, this time leaving the glutes lightly engaged. Not gripping, but engaged enough to support the spine. Press down to the inner edges of your feet, so the inner thighs roll around and down. Just staying here, breathing naturally. And then release your hips down on the exhale, all the way to the floor. Lovely. Draw your knees towards your chest and stretch them up towards the ceiling as you inhale. They remain hip distance apart, the feet are spread. Exhale, bring the feet back to the floor and raise your arms up and over by your ears. And do that again. The arms come down by your side, draw knees towards the chest. Float the legs up. You don't need to straighten the knees completely. Just the inhale, exhale, feet to the floor, arms come up and over. One more time, inhaling, arms come down, legs float up. Exhale, feet to the floor, arms by the ears. We're going to add a bridge to this. Push into the feet, lift your hips up vertically, arms come down. So the spine moves in one piece like a drawbridge. Exhale, hips and hands come to the floor at the same time. Legs, float the knees towards the chest, stretch the legs up, arms down by the sides. The arms continue to do the same action. Feet to the floor, arms up and over. Inhale, press into the feet, lift your hips. Inner edges of the feet are grounding. Exhale, hips to the floor, arms up and over. Inhale, float the legs towards the ceiling, arms come down. Exhale, feet to the floor, raise the arms. Keep the arms where they are this time. As you press into the feet, lift your hips vertically. Again, about halfway. So you have two lovely diagonal lines from the center of your knee to the hip, to the armpits. Walk the shoulder blades down the back 1 and 2, so there's a bit more spaciousness around the earlobes. Breathing here as you press the feet down and slightly forward. As you lower your hips to the earth this time, bend the elbows and slide them down a little bit so they come in line with the shoulders. Draw your knees towards your chest and drop your knees over to the right into a simple twist. You might find that the left knee is hovering. There may need to be a bit of space between the inner thighs there. Take a couple of breaths here as you relax and spread the shoulder blades. And drawing your knees back through to the center, either together or one at a time. Take them over to the other side. There might be a gap between your thighs. You might rest the feet lightly. A couple of breaths here as you spread across the shoulder blades, chest opening. And draw your knees back through to the center. Take each hand over the front of each kneecap. Feel along the length of your spine. Flex both feet, interlace the hands over the front of the right knee and stretch your left leg forward. And the foot is floating forward into space. Heel is just slightly off the floor here. Make sure the face is soft, the throat and mouth are relaxed. Take an external rotation right from the top of your left thigh. And that left leg is going to float out to the side. It's just skimming the earth. Take it back through to the center. Internally rotate the toes point up and pulse that leg up a little bit. We'll add the breath to this. As you inhale, externally rotate the thigh, float the leg out to the side, take it back. And as you exhale, pulse the leg up just a little bit. Inhale, externally rotate, float the leg out, take it back. Exhale, pulse it up, toes point directly upwards. Last time, inhaling. Exhaling, raising the leg vertically. Soften the knee if you need to, spread the toes. Let's point and flex the foot a few times. It's nice in the hot weather to move the fluid from the ankle down to the leg and into the hips. And the elevation of the legs or feet at this time. Flex the foot, rock yourself back. Enough momentum to come all the way up to seated. So you're going to have your right foot about a hand's width away from the inner thigh. Left thumb behind you. Right arm rises. Bring the upper arm or elbow inside of the knee and start to twist. It's an open twist. So we roll the tops of the thighs or inner thighs towards the pubis. As you breathe here, squeezing the knee towards the upper arm. Slide your left foot back. Bring the hands into prayer with the elbows inside of the knees and reach your prayer forward, drawing the arm bones back into the sockets. Sit back a little bit, drag yourself onto the tips of the toes if that's possible. Firm the knees and elbows towards one another. Maybe the toes float up into a kind of a half boat pose here. Great. Place the feet back to the floor. Raise your prayer as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to start to roll down, draw the thumbs towards the heart. Pause when the shoulder blades are just slightly off the floor. Inhale, extend your right leg. Exhale, place the foot back down. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, place it back to the floor. One more time each side. Inhale, right leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release yourself down onto the earth. Just drawing the knees towards you once again. Hands come over the kneecaps. Interlacing the fingers over the front of the left knee. Float your right leg forward into space and the heel is just slightly off the floor. Spread the toes. Take an external rotation and right to the top of that thigh. Float the leg out to the side as you inhale. Take it back, toes point up, pulse it up, exhale. Inhale. Float the leg out, take it back, exhale, pulse up. And again, inhale, just skimming the floor, external rotation, internal rotation. Last time. This time the right leg floats all the way up. Soften the knee, thigh bone drops down, relax the face, the jaw. How is the breath? Point and flex the foot. Pumping the fluid from the foot all the way down the leg back into the pelvis. So cooling the ankle joint. Finish with a flexed foot. Rock yourself back. Rock yourself up to seated. Left foot is about a hand's width between the inner thigh and the foot. Take your right thumb behind you. Raise up the left arm. Upper arm or elbow comes inside of the knee and there's a drawing in from periphery to core as you take this open twist. A couple of breaths here. Floating yourself back around towards the front. Slide the right foot back to the earth. Elbows inside, palms into prayer. Reach forward. Drag yourself back onto the tips of the toes. Maybe the toes float off. Coming about halfway into boat pose, maybe a little bit more, 3/4 if you feel. Find that relationship between your legs and your arms and then place the feet to the floor. Reach up, thumbs to the heart as you start to roll down. So you're curling your way down vertebra by vertebra, just keeping the shoulder blades slightly off the floor. Inhale, extend your right leg forward. Exhale, take it to the earth. Left foot, inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release yourself down onto the earth. Reach your prayer over your head. Slide your legs forward. Give yourself a big stretch out. And then hug your knees towards you. Slip the hands behind the backs of the knees. And rock yourself up to seated. Any way that you can, make your way over onto your hands and your knees. And so this is where you might want to place your blanket, your towel, or your meditation seat just across the mat for your knees and shins. Coming onto all fours, let's come up onto the tips of the fingers today. So this creates a little bit more lift and breadth across the chest, across the heart space. Take an inhale and lengthen from your breastbone to your pubis. Exhale, lift and round your spine. Inhale, lengthening through the inner seam of your spine. Exhale, lift and round your spine. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Coming into neutral, pour the weight into the left palm, pour the weight into the right palm, tuck your toes and just take a little rock forwards and backwards here. Bring a little bit more tone into the front of the body, lifting the internal organs. Really spread the palms of your hands. And this time as the sit bones approach the heels, you're going to float the knees off the floor and start to unfold into your first downward facing dog. Let the spine release through the shoulders, the knees could be bent. You can bend one knee and then the other, easing into the tissues and the backs of the legs, or be still as you breathe. Placing the feet together, big toe joints to touch here. Fan out the toes. Swing your heels to the right. Bend your knees and drop them to the floor towards the left side of your mat. You could swing the toes a little bit further forward so the shins are almost parallel to the top edge of the mat, and come and sit behind the heels a little bit. It's like a little twisted child's pose. And coming back, swing the toes to the center of the mat. Lift your hips up and back. So your two legs are one in this modified downward facing dog. Swing your heels to the left. Drop your knees to the mat, to the right side of your mat. Maybe swing the toes forward. And come and sit as if behind the heels. Lovely, coming back. Tuck the toes in the center of the mat. Lift your sit bones towards the sky. Beautiful. Float your right leg up behind you. Doesn't have to be high, but a strong energy moving out to the toes. Reach back to the inner seam of your leg. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Inhale, unfold the leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhaling, looking forward, stepping the right foot inside the hands and lowering the back knee down onto the earth. Push into the front foot, float your arms out and up, and imagine you are catching a soap bubble here. So it's fragile, it's buoyant, it's also quite strong in its own way. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, float your right arm down. Little lateral stretch of the spine. Inhale, tips of the fingers come to touch. Exhale, left arm floats down. Inhale, tips of the fingers come to touch. Exhale, lift your tailbone and fly forward over your thigh. The arms are out to the sides. Twist your heart as the left fingertips come to the earth. Right arm rises. Now, as you bring your right elbow inside the knee, swing across with the toes. So your shin is lining up with the top edge of the mat. Maybe bring palm on palm. So little baby Parshakanasana. And there's a relationship here between your knee and your elbow. Your gaze can be wherever feels comfortable for your neck, with the shoulder blades down the back. Perhaps the right fingertips come to the floor, the left arm rises. Keep tuning into your breath. Fingertips come either side of your front foot, swivel on the knee. Walk your hands back as you lift your front toes. Soften the face, skin of the face, from hairline to chin. Lengthen back from the heel all the way to the sit bone and up the back of the spine to the nape of the neck or the base of the skull. Walk yourself back onto the foot, lift your back knee, step back into a high plank. Push the earth away from you to receive the uplift through the underneath side of your body. Lower the knees, come and sit down on the heels as you exhale. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale, drop the heart to the floor, slide the belly and the legs away from you to come to lie all the way down on your front, prone position. Reach your left fingertips out towards the left corner of your mat. And like a little soap bubble underneath that hand. Right fingertips, same hand gesture, but in line with the shoulder and the elbow is lifted. Lift the gaze a little bit off the floor and rotate your left shoulder head forward. You can look at it to see the rotation, bringing the top of the shoulder to the floor as much as you can. And then your gaze can look towards the right elbow. Keep the pinky finger grounded there as you find that rotation in the shoulder joint. Rotate the shoulder head up and around to change. So left fingertips come in line with the armpit, right fingertips towards the front corner of the mat. Rotate your right shoulder head forward as if it were to come to the floor. And as you take this little twist in the upper body, the head just naturally wants to turn there. Keep the pinky finger grounded as you breathe. And then rotating it back. Slide the thumbs underneath the shoulders. Push back up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Roll the pubis through the thighs. Float the left leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, knee comes forward to the nose. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, knee comes forward to the nose. Inhale, take it up and back. Step the foot in between the hands and lower your back knee down onto the earth. I'm just going to turn sideways, or other way around, sorry, so that it's a bit easier for you to see here. So you've got your left foot in front. Push into the foot. Float the arms out and up. And just catch that little soap bubble. Maybe slightly in front of your face so the shoulder heads can release down. It's buoyant, it's lifting you up, but at the same time you have an awareness of your connection to the earth. Take an inhale as you exhale, left arm floats down. Inhale, pads of the fingers touch. Exhale, right arm floats down. Inhale, lift your tailbone, hinge back. Fly forward over the thigh. Right fingertips float to the floor as the chest turns, left arm rises. As you place the left elbow inside of the knee, that back shin, so you want to swivel on the knee here. This is where the blanket is a bit useful. Come up into prayer position with the hands. The heart extends towards the fingers, the shoulder blades down the back. Left fingertips come to the floor, right arm rises. And then the hands can come back either side of the left foot. You swivel around on the knee once again. Tuck the back toes, lift the front toes. Hinge back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Feel that lengthening back from the heel all the way to the underneath side of the leg to the sit bone, all the way up the spine, to the base of your skull, to the back of the body, the west of the body. The Sanskrit word for west is Pashi, Paschimottanasana. And as you walk yourself back onto the foot, plant the palms, lift the back knees, step back into a high plank. Lower your knees. As you exhale, sit down onto the heels. Inhaling, coming up, exhale. Pull the elbows in, drop the chest, slide the belly and the legs away from you. Little internal rotation in the roots of your thighs, so all 10 toenails are to the floor. Make these little cupcake hands or little bubbles underneath your hands here in line with your armpits, so they're out to the side. Shrug your right shoulder blade down your back, left shoulder blade down the back, both shoulder blades down the back. Only come as high as you feel is comfortable for your lower back. And then release yourself down onto the earth. Take the thumbs underneath the shoulders, push back up onto hands and knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Wonderful, couple of breaths here. Stepping your feet together once again. Float your right leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Take it up and back and step the foot in between the hands. Back knee stays off the floor, push into the front foot, float your arms out and up. Pads of the fingers come to touch. Soften the back knee if you need to. Holding that little soap bubble, narrow the hip bones towards one another. Float your right arm down as you exhale. Inhale, coming back up. Left arm, exhale. Inhaling, exhale. Root to the ball of your back foot as you fly forward over your thigh. Arms into an aeroplane position. Twist the heart, left fingertips float to the floor, right arm rises. Lovely, place the right elbow inside of the knee. Back heel comes in and down. Bring your hands into prayer position. Same pose, but back knee off the floor. Reach out to the crown of your head, anchor to the outer edge of your back foot. How is your breath? Release the fingertips to the floor, left arm rises. And then take those sets of fingertips either side of that front foot. And begin to send your hips up and back. Maybe straightening your front leg just a couple of centimeters. Press down to the big toe joint. Keep the back of the knees soft and broad. Bending your front knee, plant the palms, step back into a high plank. Any vinyasa that you like, so you could take a chaturanga up dog if that makes sense to you, or stay with me, just a half vinyasa, lowering the knees, chest to the floor. Baby cobra, lift your navel, tuck toes, down facing dog. Step the feet together, float your right leg up behind you. Inhale, exhale, bring the knee across your body towards the left elbow. Place the shin to the floor and slide your left knee in. Tuck it in there so the thighs cross. Come and sit down a little bit. Let your body drape over your thighs. Let your head release. So it's a twisted child's pose, twisted root child's pose. And coming back out of this, slide your left leg away so the toes are tucked. Push the palms into the earth. Lift your hips and cross your right thigh in front of your left. So there's no gap there and the knee is bent. Lovely. Come forward and then step back into a down dog. Feet are together. Fan out the toes, fan out the fingers. Just notice as you get tired or a little bit unconscious that if the fingers start to contract back in your down dog, that will cause a jamming into your wrists. So keep the fingers as active as you can. Float your left leg up behind you, point the toes, inhale. Exhale, come forward, knee to nose. Take the leg up and back and step the foot forward in between the hands. Push into your front foot, float your arms out to the sides to come up. Catch that little soap bubble. Narrow the pelvic bones, soften the back knee if it's more comfortable for your lower back. So this little bubble is lifting you, it's giving you a buoyancy. Float the left arm down as you exhale. Inhale. Right arm, exhale. Inhale. Anchor to the ball of your back foot, fly forward. Over your thigh, arms in an aeroplane. Twist as the right fingertips float to the floor, left arm rises. As your left elbow comes inside of the knee, the back heel comes down. Arms come into prayer position, so you lift your chest enough. Lift the heart towards the tips of the fingers. Front of the face is soft, back of the neck is long as you breathe. Perhaps we're opening here. Left fingertips come to the floor, right arm rises. And the fingers come either side of your front foot. Swivel up the back heel. Send the weight back. Maybe lift the front toes or not. Actually, no, we kept the foot down. Let's keep the foot down. This hamstring stretch. And root to the big toe joint. That has quite a nice way, if you're hypermobile or very flexible, to reduce the pressure in the back of the knee. Bend your front knee, plant the palms. Step back into a high plank. Vinyasa of your choice. Follow me if you wish, lowering the knees. Sit onto the heels. Come up, chest and chin. Slide through baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the feet together again and float the left leg up behind you. Bring the knee across to the right forearm or elbow and place the shin to the floor. Your right knee is going to tuck in here, so you cross the thighs. Come to sit back. Don't expect your sit bones to come to the floor. Belly folds over the thighs. Chin hangs over the knee. Couple of breaths here. And coming out of this. Left shin comes to the floor. Right leg extends back as you tuck the toes. Push the earth away from you to lift your hips and just cross your left thigh in front of your right. So there's no gap between the legs there. So it's a one-legged down dog with the thigh in front. Pulse forward just to get enough momentum. Extend the leg. And step the foot back to the floor. Okay, let's walk our feet forward towards the front of the mat. Placing the feet hip distance, snuggle the feet into the earth, soften the knees, let your head go. Take an inhale, leading with the heart, and come all the way up to standing. Maybe catch that little soap bubble that's giving you that buoyancy. And just bring this little bubble down in front of your heart. And release to the earth. Lovely. Standing at the front of your mat. Turning the right toes out if you need to, just a little bit for balance. That's if your femur head doesn't sit completely internally or neutrally rotated in the socket. It'll help you to balance, just to give yourself that little bit of space there. So maybe right toes turn out a little bit. Draw your left knee towards you. Take the knee out slightly to the side. Slide the hand onto the ankle or the foot and place the foot up on the top of your thigh or below your knee. Firm the inner thigh towards your foot. And taking this little soap bubble, lift it just slightly in front of the crown of the head to give you that sense of buoyancy here. Soften the focus of your eyes, little smile behind your lips. And maybe you're lifting up out of the waist and taking that little side bend, left arm just drops behind the thigh, reaching up and out. Fingers come back to touch lightly. Step back with your left foot and place it to the floor. Whole of the foot. You might need to wiggle your right foot slightly forward or slightly out towards the right side of your mat to help square the hips in this warrior one pose. As you fly forward over the leg, this time you're going to straighten the knee a little bit. Exhale. Inhale, bend the knee and gather the air. Scoop the air as the palms face back. Lift up and over, send your hips back on the exhale, come forward. Inhale, bend the knee, scoop and gather the air. One more time. Exhaling. Suck your right thigh bone back into the socket. Inhale. Exhaling as you straighten the front knee, come into a flat back. This time as you bend the front knee, float the left fingertips to the floor and twist. Back heel is down this time. You could stay here or come right onto the tips of your left fingers. Root to the legs so much that the chest starts to lift and bring the hands into a prayer position by the heart. Pulling your right hip back in space. Release the fingertips to the floor and step your back foot in so you have about a stride between your heels. Just a little step here. I'm going to move off my blanket there. Right toes are pointing forward, left toes are turning out a little bit. Bend both knees. And just shift the weight between the front and the back foot. Just a little bit. Both heels stay down. Until you find 50% of the weight in each foot, let your head go. Reach around, catch a hold of the back of the ankle or calf muscle. And maybe root down through both legs as you begin to straighten or not. Release the fingertips to the floor. Step back with your left toes into a lunge. And lower your back knee down onto the floor. We're going to revisit this twist from the earth as you raise up your right arm. Inhale. Take the fingertips inside. Swivel on the knee. Lean into the right knee. Left arm rises. Take the fingertips back either side of the front foot. Walk the hands back as you lift the front toes. Ardha Hanumanasana. We're going to add one more element to this. As you come forward, reach your right arm forward. Circle the arm and maybe catch the foot. Should we try that one more time? Just one breath, one movement. So as you come back, swivel the shin. Right hand inside. Left arm rises. Inhale. Exhale, hands either side. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, take the weight onto the foot, right arm sweeps around, catches hold. And then exhale, just release the hand to the floor. Sweep this right shin back and come and sit down into a child's pose. No twist this time, big toe joints to touch. Couple of breaths before the second side. Inhaling, coming up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, seal the knees together, so perhaps the legs are together in this downward facing dog. And walk your feet forward towards the front of the mat. Take an inhale, lead with the heart as you come all the way up to standing. Good. And maybe you're going to turn your left toes out a little bit if that was useful for your balance, if that's the way that the femur head sits in the socket. Draw your right knee up in front of you, take it slightly out to the side. Right hand slides onto the ankle, foot onto the top of the thigh, firm the inner thigh towards the foot. And then raise your little soap bubble just slightly forward to the crown of the head, that little buoyant bubble of air that's lifting you up. Release tension in the supporting foot. If there's a gripping of the toes, that will translate further up in the body as a tension. And notice if you're holding your breath. Maybe the right arm floats down behind the thigh. You reach up and over with your left fingertips. Floating the tips of the fingers to touch once again. And stepping back with your right foot, finding the earth, adjusting the feet if you need to. You might need to give yourself a bit more width for your warrior one. Begin to straighten the front leg, lift the tailbone, fly forward as you exhale, arms out to the sides. Inhale, bend the knee and scoop the air back, palms face back. Lift up and over as you exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the air. One more time. Exhaling, slide over that little pause between the breaths. Inhale. Exhaling. And this time as you bend the front knee, the right fingertips float to the earth, the left arm rises. Back heel is down this time, so there's perhaps a bit more stability. You could stay here or lift the chest, bring the thumbs to the heart into prayer as you reach out. Take the fingertips to the floor. Step your back foot in, so there's about one length of your foot between the heels. Like a tiny stride or a normal kind of step perhaps. Bend both knees and play around with the weight between the front and the back foot until you have 50% of the weight in each foot there. Right toes are turning out, left toes forward. Wrap the arms, catch a hold of the ankle or the calf muscle. Let the head go. Relax the tension in the neck, brainstem, around the back of the skull. Maybe you root down through both legs to begin to straighten them. Again, notice if the toes are gripping, if the breath has become rigid or you're holding it in any way. Take the fingertips to the floor, extend the spine, step back with your right toes and lower the knee to the floor. Great. Raising up your left arm and left fingertips come inside of the foot, swivel on the knee, raising up your right arm. Take the fingertips either side of the front foot, swivel on the knee, walk the hands back, lift the front toes. We add one more element this time. As you come back onto the foot, the left arm reaches forward. Maybe you pick up the back foot, reach or catch. And then as you take the foot back to the floor, left hand comes in, right arm rises. Inhale. Exhale, hands either side, walk the fingertips back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, walk yourself onto the foot, left arm reaches forward, maybe catch or just reach. Place the toes to the floor, bring your left foot back. And settle into a child's pose for a few breaths here. And stretching your arms forward, tuck your toes, seal your knees together, coming into a down dog. Lovely. Float your right leg up behind you once again. And bend the knee, step the foot in between the hands. Come onto the tips of the fingers, and you almost want to scoop up the belly here. Lift your back heel. In an attempt to bring your left knee through and slide it through to come and sit down. I know that's quite challenging. So we're back here with the right foot about a hand's width between the inner thigh and the ankle joint. Left thumb behind you. Right arm rises. Keep the right sit bone down. Upper arm or elbow inside of the knee. Little open twist. If you'd like to add to this, the back palm plants down. There's that external rotation in the top of the thigh again, as the little toe to the foot comes to the floor, and you're going to sweep your arm up and over, lifting up onto the ball of the foot. This is the inhale. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, reaching over. Exhaling. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Slide your left foot up, bring the feet and knees together. Switch the elbow to the outside of the knee. And just make sure the knees aren't coming off center here. Come onto the tips of the toes. Maybe toes float off, maybe half, 3/4 or full. You could extend the arm. And place the feet to the floor. Raising up the arm. Take the fingertips behind you and turn them forward and just slide the heart up the sternum. Lovely. Crossing the ankles. Flip over or make your own way back into a downward facing dog. We'll try that little transition through again. Feet are together. Float your left leg up behind you. Look forward and step the foot in between the hands. Come right up onto the tips of the fingers because you kind of need that lift here. Lift the belly, scoop up the belly. Bring your right knee forward and see if you can swing it through and come to sit down. Hands width between the inner foot and the thigh. Right thumb behind you, left arm rises. Elbow comes inside. Little open twist here. Maybe the right palm plants to the floor. External rotation in the right leg. Inhale, inflate the hips, reach over. Exhale, come back and you're going to square your shoulders towards the front edge of your mat. Inhaling. Lift the back heel so you've got more height and more buoyancy. Exhale. One more time, inhaling. Exhaling. Sliding your right foot to the floor so the feet are together. Elbow comes to the outside of the knee, or both knees. Keep the knees in the center. Come onto the tips of your toes. You could extend the legs half, 3/4 full. Maybe extend the arm. And then placing the feet to the floor, raising the arms, circling the arm behind you. Little finger edges of the hands may start to touch. Curl the shoulders around. My palms are flat this time, fingers pointing backwards, if that works for you. And then walking your hands towards you, wrap the arms around the shins. Slide the belly up the thighs and lower the chin towards the chest. Raising your gaze, stretch the legs and arms forward. And if there's not much mat behind you, just do a couple of sit bone walks towards the front of your mat. Point the toes, reach up, and as you exhale, start to curl your way down, vertebra by vertebra. You come to the earth. And draw your knees towards your chest. Take the arms out into a T position. And we're going to take the knees over to the right 3 times, same way, before we settle them down into our final twist. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, roll your knees to the right. Take them back through to the center. Inhale. Again, over to the same side, to the right. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Exhale. Same side. Inhale. Exhale, knees come all the way to the ground, all the way to the floor. Relax the lower part of your leg as much as you can. Spread the shoulder blades. Arms could stay out, or you could take the right hand onto the top of the thigh and the left arm reaching up by the ear. And if you want to make it more active, then you're rolling your top hip forward and down. Couple of breaths. Open the arms back out into a T shape and draw your knees back through to the center. And we're going to take that same action but to the left. So rolling your knees over to the left as you exhale. Inhale, bringing them back. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, return. One more time, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lowering your knees all the way to the floor to the left. You can keep the arms where they are, or left hand comes onto the top of the thigh, right arm reaches up by your ear. If you want to make this more active, then you roll your top hip, your right hip, forward and down. So you're increasing the space in the right side of the waist. Lovely, release, open the arms out to the sides, draw your knees back through to the center and hug them in towards you. Place the feet to the floor and just begin the process of settling down into final relaxation. And all the hard work is done now. We let go. Shavasana is the pose of integration. It's here that we assimilate and absorb all our efforts. Scan your body from the crown of the head all the way through to the toes, just letting go of any residual tension, any unconscious holding. And give yourself these last few minutes in Shavasana. Just right now, there's nowhere else you should be, nothing else you should be doing. Resting, receiving. We'll be silently here together just for 2 minutes I'll mind the time. Of course, if you wish to stay in Shavasana a little longer, please just let my words wash through you. If you would like to join me to conclude our practice together and begin the process of coming back into the physical body, an awareness of the weight and contact of your body on the earth, the space that you occupy in the room, and the breath that moves through your inner landscape, the inner spaciousness of your body. You may wish to engage a few fuller inhalations just to gently mobilize your energy, but without disturbing this sense of spaciousness and peace that you may or may not be experiencing in Shavasana. The inhalation is mobilizing, engaging, encourages us into movement. So maybe make some little movements, wiggling the toes and the fingers. And when you're ready, make your way over to the right side. Pause there for a moment, still with the eyes closed. And when you're ready, make your way back to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer and bow, just placing the forehead on the flaps of your thumbs. Take a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for making this time to practice today. When you're ready, you can raise your gaze, open your eyes, draw your thumbs towards your heart space. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy this amazing warm weather, and I hope to see some of you next week.